Hey, I'm Danny Anderson. I'm the Vice President of Supply Chain. I've been with Windsor a little bit over a year, and it's been a pretty exciting year. I've been doing supply chain a lot longer than that. But what I want to go through is I want to go through the general environment. We'll talk about some of the back orders and what we're doing to address those back orders, what we're doing to track and trend those things so we can get ahead of the curve wherever possible, and the actions we're taking to get better in the future. And a little bit of a looking forward, if you can, kind of a little bit of a crystal ball. What's interesting is that we're seeing a lot of product coming in through the West Coast and other ports. In March, the West Coast ports processed 65% more than they did in 2019. So the good news is they're finding ways to improve their productivity and efficiency. They've got about 40 ships that are anchored off the West Coast, and we're seeing the same thing on other ports throughout the U.S. and really the world. But they're finding ways to get through that in a more efficient manner. The reason for the increase is that we're seeing a lot more imports coming in from China. China's imports year over year have increased to 177%. A lot of that is consumer products, and consumer products being exercise equipment, leisure goods, toys, household furnishings, all of that. And the reason we're seeing consumer products go up, demand for them, is because people's got more money in their pocket. With the federal stimulus checks going out there, with people having more money in their pocket because they're not going on vacation, they're not going to restaurants, they're not going to movies, that type of stuff. They're not buying new clothes to go to work because a lot of them working from home. So they got more money in their pocket and they're using that money to buy stuff. The challenge is that what they're buying is also sucking up a lot of the steels, plastics, and other raw materials out there that we would normally use. So what we're seeing from a supplier base is some of our suppliers are having challenges keeping up with that. The workforce is down in general about 65%. So they're having trouble keeping up with that. People are staying home, take care of their family, take care of the kids from not going to school and things like that. But some of the more direct things we're seeing is something as simple as aerosol cans. Lysol and Johnson & Johnson went out there and bought all the North American production of aerosol cans. And they're putting disinfectant in there and they're making a lot of money. Unfortunately, that gobbled up all that out there that are aerosol cans. We do a fair amount of aerosol products. Our lead times from our suppliers have gone from 8 weeks to 26 weeks. And we're working to figure out how to work through that. Some of our suppliers are actually bringing cans from Turkey in order to meet their requirements. And so we're looking at resourcing, we're looking at getting alternate suppliers, but again, we're facing that same thing. Chemicals and packaging products are a challenge. A good example that's not just us. I got a notice from WD-40 late last week that WD-40 is curtailing their product offering. And what they're going to do is they're going to really continue to make the blue and yellow cans of standard WD-40, but they're stepping away from making the WD-40 with silicone in it, the WD-40 that foams and that type of stuff. With the cans they can and the can material they can get, they're going to really focus on just that core product going forward. And so we're seeing these kind of things prop up every day. And so what we're doing to support that is trying to figure out, what first, second, and third tier suppliers we can work for. We've got good reports out there that says, okay, what items are on back order, how much they're tied to, when did they pop up, and so we're working through that. We're looking at, bringing material in at various warehouses. We're also shipping product out of multiple warehouses. Windsor is actually absorbing between $20,000 and $25,000 every week because we're shipping from multiple warehouses. And the reason we're doing that is because if I needed to move, one order to the warehouse, it's going to take me 5 to 7 days for UPS or FedEx to get it there. They're just not as responsive as they used to be. So what we're doing is, you may get to your customer, instead of having one Windsor package, you may have 2 or 3. I'm sorry about that, but the answer is at least we got the product to you. It's in everybody's best interest to try to get back to what, a reasonable amount of normal, but that may take a little while for us. I want to share with you my screen and show you kind of what we're doing. A dashboard I got that we built for supply chain, so we can kind of figure out how we're doing and how we're performing. It's something that we'll publish on a regular basis, but it's something that we haven't had in the past. But I think it's helpful for us to share this information. So let me pull it up. All right, should see it there. And what you see on this screen is the dashboard for supply chain, but more importantly, it's talking about back orders. In the top left-hand corner, 196,000. That's how many customer lines we shipped in the last 30 days. If you look right next to that, 4,512. That's how many back orders we shipped. And the next to that is 4,273. That's how many back orders we currently have. And those 4,273, that equates to almost $300,000 worth of orders that we are not able to ship because we're missing a component. And that's why we're focusing in on how do we solve those problems. Another interesting thing on this report is on the lower right left-hand side, back orders by warehouse. And what you see there is you see that between Plano and Saginaw, which is our two largest warehouses, it's pretty evenly split, which kind of shows that we got inventory, a good amount of inventory in each location, but we still have back orders there. Reno, little bit smaller operation, therefore their back orders are a little bit less. But there's not one warehouse being favored over the other. The other thing that I think is really interesting as well is the top three categories that are on back order. If you take a look, I got 13 bulk chemicals. And again, we know what those are. We know that most of them are the aerosols that we're having challenges in getting. And then the second one is safety. Those 57 items that were on back order, those are actually nitrile gloves. And we were having difficulty getting those. The 85% of the global glove manufacturing comes out of Malaysia, and they're just having difficulty getting nitrile and producing as many as they need. Remember, what they produce is for the it's for the world, not just the U.S. market. And then there's 213 body clips. There's actually about 2 suppliers in the world suppliers in the U.S. that can provide us body clips. We're working with both of them. We've got orders in with both of them. The challenge they have is a lot of their almost all their body clips come from Asia. So they're stuck in the containers that are shipping that are sitting offshore. But that's kind of a breakdown of the top 3 categories of products that are on back order. All right, I'll shift back, stop sharing. Okay. So what we've got, if you want to stop and look forward, is the hope is that by June we'll work through most of those back orders that are sitting in the West Coast. And they want to get those cleared out because July and August, when they start getting the holiday stuff in, we're seeing that the vaccines are getting out there. We're hoping more workers will get back to the factories and we'll be able to increase our output from the factories a little bit better. And then we'll hopefully get back to something in the coming months, something closer back to normal and a better balance on our product and supplier base. But I think it's important for us to also note that we know that there are products out there that are not being ordered through Windsor because you're not being able to get them, or the lead time's excessive. And so we know there's a lot of orders out there that we don't even get to see because they haven't been processed through us because of shortages and things like that. My goal as a supply chain guy is to minimize that. That I want to be your first go-to, if you will, to get those products, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. Like I said, a lot of the reports and information that really didn't exist 6 or 8 months ago, we've got in place. Now we'll be able to do better planning, better forecasts, and hopefully get ahead of the curve in a lot of cases, especially when we get back to something that's closer to normal. We've got better tools than we've ever had, and when we get back to something close to normal, I think we'll be much better at supporting the field to the degree that you guys deserve. Again, we appreciate what you do out there. We nothing but respect for the hard work you guys are putting in and the challenges you're facing. And I'd say that if you have any questions or anything I can help you with, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for what you do.